All right, come with me as we go to a little farm island grocery store here in the Bahamas where we're gonna get some fresh sourdough, some tortillas, hopefully some guava jam, and a few other things for this week. So one of the things that our friends had told us prior to coming was that meat can be limited, especially beef, and really to expect not to eat any chicken. And so she had given us the suggestion of flying with beef. And so when we had our layover in Miami, we went and bought 45 pounds of beef to bring with us and put it on a carry-on, and then our flight was missed, and so we literally had to get a hotel with a freezer so that we could store our beef to bring it the next day on the flight, because we didn't want all that beef to go to waste, right? And we didn't have time to go to the grocery store to go get more. So that was one of the challenging things that our friend had told us about, you know, coming to the Bahamas and some of the food items that would be limited. She also said you might not find a ton of like name brand, organic type items. And so just to be prepared for that. And honestly, I think that we were prepared for that, and we prepared our kids as much as we could for that also. We did bring some granola bars and a couple snack items. Oh, protein powder. We went to Costco when we were in California and bought a ton of protein powder and flew with that also. Our carry-on luggage, you guys, it was really heavy because we needed to bring these things, and these things weigh a lot, right? And so we did bring that, which is good because you can't get the protein and that kind of stuff here. So this is actually our front yard. How beautiful is this? It's like absolutely stunning. The water is so crystal clear and warm and stunning. The kids go shelling and look for treasures. But anyways, the other thing about grocery shopping here is you have to bring like your bags because they don't really have like a lot of paper items or plastic bags. So you bring your own bags to go grocery shopping. And yeah, it's interesting to shop here. They do accept, like I just used my credit card. They do accept, you know, American dollars, and you can use your credit card, no problem. But trying to find the things that you're used to having, you know, is not always present. So you just have to kind of be prepared to eat what you can find instead of just like wasting things. Or at home, you know how things just like sit in your pantry. It's just not an option here. So we're gonna go there and we're gonna pick out a few things for the next couple of days. I did find bagels at the general store, which I felt like was really nice because we don't do a lot of bagels, but I thought that would be kind of fun for the kids. So I did go to buy this cream cheese though at the general store to go on the bagels. It was like a strawberry flavor, and it was like $13 for this like little thing. So I put that back because that would be used in like one serving of bagels. Okay, the other thing is, you guys, I have to drive on the left side of the road. And I don't know that I've ever done that. But there is like a red sign, I'll show you when I get in the car, on the windshield that says keep left. So wish me luck. This area of the Bahamas is really safe. But one of the things that I hear is the road condition can be a little iffy, and there are a lot of accidents. And so you have to be really careful. There's not like a ton of stop signs. I don't think I've seen one stop sign. So you have to like really look when you're at a four-way stop, and you have to just kind of wait and make sure that, you know, everything is safe before going. So this will be my first time driving. Since we got here, Paris has been doing all the driving, but I'm gonna go without him and the kids today. They're gonna stay back and play and go kayaking, and we'll see how we do. Okay, so I'm going to an island farm today. I'm gonna pick up bread and some jam. I picked up some sourdough. It was freshly baked and even still warm. There were other bread options, but this one looked good. They also had tons of vegetables, celery and lettuce and limes and beets. So I just perused around. They had awesome pineapple and watermelon. There was different types of yogurt and salsa and even some granola up top here. I picked up some Bahamian sea salt. They had large and diced sea salt, and then a bunch of herbs available. And then a ton of this like jelly pepper and hot sauce. I did get the guava jam because I heard it was super good. This is their version of, I think, an alcohol store. They call it Spirit House. It was just right off to the side of the island farm. They also had a little store with massive cinnamon rolls, which I didn't get, but there were some empty platters. So I'm assuming those are very popular. And then in these two freezers, they had meat. There was also Tostitos chips and things that apparently gets imported in from Costco. This is what I ended up with. I picked up some of those chips for 4th of July get together. I got a pineapple, a regular potato, a sweet potato, a lemon, some pasta, those 2 loaves of bread, and I ended up getting some Bahamian salt and tortillas for the kids' snacks and breakfast burritos, and I was on my way to check out. Okay, so all of that ended up coming out to about $65. Everything here is about double the price of what you would find in America, and the cost from the island store this morning and the general store isn't much different, but there are definitely more fresh items, and the sourdough bread was a perk and a plus. And so just for the environment and the fresh items, I will probably go again before we leave. So this is the general grocery store that is close to where we are. This is kind of what it looks like inside. There's lots of options, but again, remember, it's about double the price of American items. I mean, they had things that I was surprised by, like certain ice cream and Sara Lee cheesecake and different items like that. They also had bagels and pita bread and tortillas. This section was a lot of freezer section, and then this was like oil section and condiments. They had, you know, mayonnaise and ketchup, but the prices were pretty high on these. I'll kind of show you what that looked like. So for instance, this extra virgin olive oil was $23.29, and it was a pretty small bottle. And then they had this vegetable shortening for $11.79. I don't typically buy that, but just wanted to kind of show you the pricing. And then over here, they did have Primal Kitchen. It was, around $12, but at least they have these really good healthy options on the island for salad dressings and things like that. I did splurge a bit and get the liquid aminos because my family plans on eating a lot of beef and rice while we're here. So just to add some flavor. And then I got home and I cut up the sourdough, put some butter and jam on it, and it was a hit. One of the things that I love about homemade sourdough, or just homemade bread in general, is when it's like really, really fluffy. And so it was a little difficult to cut through, but this is my kind of sourdough, let me tell you. It was so, so good. This guava jam did not disappoint. It was super yummy and very fresh. You could tell I just added butter in the jam, and my kids thought it was dessert. Yum. Cheers. And that's a little bit about grocery shopping in the Bahamas, specifically Eleuthera.